Guys, here with Doug Schoenfeld. Doug, how are you doing today?
Doing good. How you doing, Skip?
Doing good.
Good.
Doing good. Okay, so I know that's a header that's right there beside you. Can you kind of explain that to me?
Yeah, it's a sprint car header for a 410 sprint car motor with the Knoxville muffler on it. Well, we just kind of call it a Knoxville muffler. It's a -78 or the last two part numbers of it, but it's a really quiet muffler, and it's spec muffler that we did for them. I guess it's probably been 10 years now that we've done this particular muffler. We had another muffler before it, and this one here actually was about twice as quiet as the first one.
Okay. All right. Now, so that's for tracks that have like noise, that want to keep the noise down because they're in town.
Yes.
Okay.
Knoxville's right in town.
Right.
Yeah. Yes.
It is.
And there's several tracks across the country that have muffler rules. Some require just a muffler, and some of them get pretty stringent on the quietness of the muffler with the dBs.
Do you run into that with just the sprint cars? Or is there are there other?
There's other divisions. It seems like it's more of the sprint cars that have the issue, but you get out in California, about everything out there has to have a muffler on.
So tell me, Doug, how did your family get into this?
My dad was a racer, and he went to an auction. Their header company went bankrupt. He just went over there to buy some small tools, maybe some small equipment, and was walking around looking at the everything they had for sale at the auction. And he got to talking with the gentleman that had all the money behind everything. And the guy said, well, you seem pretty intelligent. Buy everything back. You think you can make a go of it? And he thought about it for a second and said, yeah, I think so. So they bought everything back at the auction. And he went along for a little bit there and asked him if he could buy him out. And they came up with the price, and he ended up buying him out. And so at the same time we built headers at nighttime, he was an engineer at Whirlpool.
Huh?
Yep, worked in the model shop there. And so he's tooling along there doing both. And the division that he worked at in Whirlpool, they ended up closing it down. And they asked him if he wanted to be a foreman on the line. And he said, well, I don't think being a foreman is what I really want to do. I've kind of got this side gig going. I think I'm just going to try to make a go of it. And so he quit Whirlpool, retired there, and here we are 52 years later, still building headers.
Made a good decision, didn't he?
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
So did you race?
I raced a little bit when I was in high school. I ran enduro classes, what they called it out here. I was rookie of the year, track champion, and gave it up in 1 year. Guess that's the way to go out on top.
Gotcha. I gotcha. And your brother raced too, right?
Yes.
He's not in the shot, but your brother raced too.
Yes, my brother did race.
Still races, right?
He races modified still, IMC modified, yes.
I gotcha.
He ran some super late model asphalt, super late model dirt. I think maybe 6 was his best finish at Snowball Derby, so that's pretty cool.
And we're talking about Dennis.
My brother Dennis, yes.
Yeah,
yes,
right. Yes. Now, what about your dad? Did he ever race?
Yes, he did race. He raced go-karts. Actually, he ran third to Bobby Allen at the Bahamas.
Okay.
And so that's, that goes way back. And so he raced go-karts, and then he was asphalt racer also. It was he was racing asphalt at the time he was still doing headers. He went to the Dry Power 400 at Winchester. Him and Tom Meyer had 2 lap on the field, and he ended up getting wadded up in a lap car. I guess it was maybe 50 laps later, Tom Meyer broke a motor or something. And he said if he'd have won that, as much as it paid back, I don't remember if it was $10,000 or $20,000 back then.
Yes, wow.
If he'd have won that race, he'd have probably be racing instead of building headers.
Gotcha. Yeah, that was good money back then, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
For sure. So, Doug, kind of tell us, how do you come up with, what's the process for coming up with new products and stuff?
Right.
Do you do research and development? Do you work with drivers on coming up with new stuff? How does that work?
We work with drivers on some stuff, and the chassis builder, that's big thing is to be able to get your package in their car.
Right.
So when they come up with a new car, make some changes, we'll end up having to make changes to the header to fit the car.
Okay. Do you work more with, would you say you work more with the chassis builders then than you do like engine builders?
No, it's a combination of everything.
Okay.
You still have to work with the engine builders because it's going on their engine.
Okay. Now, do you do any asphalt stuff, or is it all dirt?
We do asphalt. Yes, we do.
Okay.
Yes,
all right. Is there a specific thing? What do you do in the asphalt world?
It's primarily, for the super late models is a crossover tri-Y header.
Okay.
Ty Majeski runs our stuff there.
Okay.
And,
gotcha.
And
So what classes in dirt then? For people who don't know a lot about it, what classes in dirt do you build headers for? Everything?
There's, just between asphalt and dirt, a lot of the classes are the same. You just have different, of course, it's going to be different suspension and shock packages.
Okay.
But, a different tire, but they're all still, a lot of them are the same class. If you have a hobby stock class or a street stock class, it's still going to be the same metric car.
Gotcha.
Like that, but it'd be the same part number header. Except on the asphalt, they run more of a crossover header than the dirt cars do, where the left side header crosses over the back of the engine, and they'll either exit underneath the car or they'll exit out the right door.
Okay. Now, I've asked you this before, and I want to get it on camera. What exactly is the purpose of a header?
A header basically it replaces whether.
So you normally
the header it replaces a stock exhaust manifold or a stock tubular exhaust that comes on a street car. Those are real small primary tubes, and the primaries are the 8 individual tubes are what we call the primary tubes, and they're short and small. You just can't get the performance out of a race engine that you can with a header. And the header's going to be like this header here is going to be about 32 inches long in the primaries, and we're 1 7/8, 2 to 2 1/8, where a street header is going to be 1.5 inches, 1 5/8 with a 2.5 inch collector.
Okay. All right. So does it add, you get more power, you get more horsepower? I mean, what does it do performance wise? It just improves overall performance?
It improves everything overall. Because one thing with the cast iron exhaust pipe, it's just so much restriction there. With the header, you get the long primary, so you can get the scavenging to where it creates a vacuum there where it pulls on the next cylinder there, and also the gases there that a manifold just doesn't. With the short primaries, it can't do that.
Now you told me before too that, I mean, if you get too big or something like that, it almost will not help out. Is that right?
Yes.
So you kind of got to find out.
Yes. A lot of people, a lot of times they'll call, you ask them what size they want, and they'll say as big as I can get. A lot of times you get too big, then you lose power because it just doesn't have the back pressure that it needs. If you get too small, then you have too much back pressure also. You have to mess around to see what works best with your engine combination. Whether you had like on the sprint car Stanton or Dyno, they'll run different cams. And so one engine builder is going to like a little different exhaust package than the other engine builder.
Okay. And then drivers also have preferences.
That's exactly right. Yeah. Somebody will call and want to know what David Gravel's racing for a header. David Gravel, just like I say with the engine builders, he might be running a different engine than this guy's running, and also with a different driving style. And so you have to, it's a total combination, just like with an engine of which the cam that they run or the different piston or the cylinder head, and the exhaust is the same thing. You've got to tune it to what you need.
Yeah.
And that's what I ask them a lot of times is where they're at, the tube size they have, and the engine size that they run in horsepower, and then what they're looking. If they need more bottom end or top end, then you can kind of adjust the header to meet what they're looking for.
She's kind of a header setup guy.
Yes.
Header setup expert. Probably should be, huh? As long as you guys have been doing it.
Yeah.
I got you. Doug, what makes Schoenfeld headers better than everybody else?
I don't necessarily know that makes are better than everybody else, but we've just, performance value at a fair price. This header here's $600. Well, it's about $1,000 with the merge collector and the mufflers, but our regular header's going to be anywhere from $280 to $500 is going to be probably the primary in there. Okay. And just racing has just gotten so expensive. We've always patted our back about being real competitive on price wise. Because if you price them all out, we're not going to have any racers anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, I hear you on that one.
Yep.
I mean, they need all the help they can get, don't they?
Yes, they do.
So as far as how people get these, you have a dealer network?
We do have a dealer network, yes. I mean, we've got, in our area out here, you've got Day Motorsports, Smiley's Racing Products, Performance Bodies, Larry Shaw, Speedway Motors, Motor State Distributing. We go through our dealer program, yes.
Okay. Are you nationwide on the dealer program?
Are nationwide, yes.
Okay.
Yep. Just like with the sprint car, we've got dealers out in California with BR Motorsports and Kadeen. And, it just kind of depends on, part of the country where it is, but we have dealers across the country.
Do you have like an online catalog? People can come to Schoenfeld.
We have a website with our catalog, which we throw in every box.
Okay.
With our headers and everything as a catalog.
Okay.
And we get a lot of people that'll call, hey, I buy from such and such or whatever, but I want to make sure I get the right header that fits my chassis, what they need. So they'll call here for recommendations, and then they'll go back to their dealer to buy the header.
Okay. All right. Well, Doug, I really appreciate you talking to me. Is there anybody you want to shout out before we get off here?
Not really, I guess.
Okay. All right. Well, I always ask.
Yeah, right.
I know you don't have any sponsors, but I wanted to ask you if you had any shout outs you wanted to get.
Yeah. No.
All right.
No.
Well, I appreciate you talking to me. I really do. And it's really interesting.
All right.
I appreciate you letting me come down here
no
and
problem.
talk to you about it.
Glad to have you.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right, Doug, you're talking about your dealer network. What are we looking at right here?
Yeah, we've got a truckload of order headers ready to go out.
Okay. And that's ready to go out on a truck line?
Yeah, we've got a truck line be here to pick it up today.
Okay. All right. Man, is this all going to one place, Doug?
It's all going to one customer, yes.
Wow. Okay.
Yep.
And that's just all header?
That's all headers. It could be mufflers and tailpipes, the rest of the exhaust also.
Okay. How often do you ship? Do you ship on certain days?
We ship
when you're ready?
We ship every day.
Okay.
UPS, FedEx comes by here every day. Usually we have a couple trucks a day coming in, picking up and going out with orders just like this.
Okay. All right. And all that wrapped up there, is that all orders ready to go?
No, that's inventory ready to be ordered and ready to ship out.
Okay. Man, it seems like a really well put together and well organized.
But we start from one end of the shop with the raw material and everything makes a lap through the shop to get out the door.
Gosh, that's really cool. So there's somebody's order. We can't tell you who it is. But
That's
there's
right.
Somebody's order. It's coming.
Yep. Ready to go.
Oh, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. So this is where the magic happens in here.
Yeah, this is where it all happens.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Good deal.
Yeah.
So how do you start? What's the starting process?
The starting process is, starting with tubing.
Okay.
Let's just slow down that way and we'll float that way.
You can smell the metal.
Yes.
Yeah. You sure can.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. We start off with 20-foot lengths of tubing.
Okay.
And we get in a truckload at a time. And then this is where we'll cut it. And then our tube benders where we bend the tubing.
All right.
And our tubing benders are mandrel bender where it doesn't collapse it like a muffler shop bender.
Okay. Really? Oh,
Yes.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah. So,
So what is all this right here? That's just where you cut the.
this is a tube bender here.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bends the tube.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, good deal. So what's next in the process?
We just have a board here that tells us what we're low on or out of.
Okay.
And then that's primarily, what we'll bend next or, what we're out of next.
Okay. All right. And we talked about this earlier. This is Steve Arpin. That's the sign off on it is.
Yes.
Yeah, that's pretty cool there.
Which, owns Longhorn Chassis.
Yeah. Yeah. And then Wayne Brooks.
Wayne Brooks. Yep. Yes. Then we got Damian Gardner up there. Jeff Walker.
Gosh.
Owner.
Okay. All right. So what's next in the process?
After we bend it, we put in all these tubs. All the bent tubes are in the tubs of what we're going to build.
Okay.
And then we have the jigs right here behind you here.
Okay.
Over here. And when we set up to bend anything, we'll take the jig over to the bender.
Okay.
And then they'll, make sure everything fits the way it's supposed to.
Okay.
And then the builder will bring a basket over with the tubes in it of what they're building and with their jigs, and they'll start building the header.
All right. So they're welling them up.
Yes, we're welding them up.
Okay.
What we call tack welding them together.
Okay.
And here's the different flanges that we have, whether it be for a Ford, Chevrolet, Mopar.
Okay.
But the majority of everything, circle track racing revolves around a small block Chevrolet.
Right.
But you have a different flange for different diameters, different cylinder heads where they may raise the exhaust ports, move the exhaust ports, spread them out.
Okay.
Different bolt patterns.
I got you. So what is this one right here? It looks different than all the other ones.
That's just the plate that we put in the jig.
Oh, okay.
That the flange will clamp into the flange.
I got you. Okay.
To build the header.
That is pretty neat. Yeah. So they're actually welding them up over here.
Then we have a robotic welder that will weld the ports. And then we have CNC mills that will machine the port.
Okay.
Where it gets to a good flat screw surface.
Okay.
And you can see one here that's before we weld it. And then this here's after we welded it.
Okay. And get over here where I can see it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
This is before we've welded it. And then this is after we've welded it and machined it.
Okay. All right.
Still needed to be deburred, though, the ports. But as you can tell with the robot, it welds it pretty clean.
It looks like it. Yeah, that was pretty nice. Okay, so that door right there, that's Jeff Bodine.
Yes, that's Jeff Bodine there. And I believe that was with Billy Blue Racing.
Okay. All right.
And I don't know, it's kind of been, that crash is pretty famous where the motor flew out of the car.
Okay.
And we actually have the exhaust port flange of it, off the motor. One cylinder is left on the head.
Are you serious?
Yes. Yeah.
Wow.
Probably won't have you do anything with the paint booth. And then here's headers that are on the rack ready to be boxed and shipped.
Okay. Boxed and shipped. And so
this is a sprint car header here.
Okay.
And this right here is for like a 4-wheel drive pickup truck, off-road.
Off-road trucks.
Yeah.
Well, that's super cool.
Where it's going to be a, over the frame, got a fender well header.
I got
it. Yes.
Okay.
And you can tell by, this is a big block Chevrolet here with the bigger tubes and the bigger collector.
Okay.
The more cubic inches, more horsepower, just takes a bigger tube.
I got you. Okay.
And this is where we box everything up.
Box it up and ship it.
Yes. We have the gasket packs made up with the bolts and the gaskets ready to be boxed up.
Oh, okay. So if you order them, then you've got stuff ready to go just to get them on there.
And most headers come with bolts and gaskets.
Okay.
There's a few things that we don't sell a whole lot of that we don't, it's just not cost effective to make a gasket for something you sell, 10 sets a year of.
I got it. Well, this is really, really neat, Doug. I appreciate you bringing me through here to see this. I mean, I've never seen it before. I'm sure there'll be people who watch who've never seen the process before. So,
and I think right now we're about 3,000 sets of headers on the shelf. So
you've got some.
We have the headers if you're needing headers.
I got you.
Yes.
No shortage.
No shortage yet.
All right, guys. Got Dennis Schoenfeld. Dennis, where are we headed?
Headed up to what we used to call Don's toy shop, but now it's our chassis dyno. But when we first built this, or when we started to build this property out here, our shop downtown, we ran out of space. So we built this building up here just for like extra storage for all our stuff from downtown.
Okay.
So then now, over the years, we put the chassis dyno in up here, and so now the shop downtown is storage.
Okay. When did y'all build this, Dennis?
This shop here is like 20 years old now.
Okay.
So we call it the new shop, but it's 20 years old.
Wow.
There's still toys in here.
Yeah. There comes Doug up the hill.
It's still a toy shop.
You want me to shut this bag or wait?
You can leave it open.
Okay. Well, yeah. Heck yeah, you do got some toys in here.
So it's still Don's toy shop. It's just Dyno and also.
Well, yeah, that's nice right there.
That's good.
Nice. Chassis down.
As you can tell, we had sprint car headers here. Last night we did was sprint car stuff. The cam force, and we tried quite a few different things, and everything here is a different header diameter, length.
Some sprint car tires right there.
Yeah.
Man, God, those things are big. Daggone. Okay.
Some tires for electric cars, like I said, it's a sprint car tire. You got asphalt tires for asphalt cars, and you got modified tires for modifieds. But this thing here, it's got a starter on it, so you can start the drum for like sprint cars or direct drive. So you can put the sprint car, you got a button and push the button, it starts the dyno spinning the tires, it spins the motor over the sprint car and fire push.
Okay.
Because you don't have no starter.
Right.
So this dyno can start as sprint.
So, but what is a chassis dyno? I mean, what are you doing?
It does torque and horsepower for motor at the wheels instead of at the crankshaft.
Oh, okay.
So you get all your drivetrain all in the middle of it too, you know.
Oh, okay. All right. So what's the process, Dennis? I mean, you just sit here and run the tires?
Yeah, we back the car up on the lift, raise it up, and back it up on there, and tie it down put the rear tires on the drums.
Okay.
And then it's tied down to the dyno itself. And then we fire it up.
So late models and sprint cars, or
Anything. Yeah, we've had micro sprints on here, midgets.
real?
From the Chili Bowl, they've had a couple midgets come down. Oh, we've had Sammy Swindell been here with his sprint cars, and the late Jason Johnson was here with his sprint car stuff. Tan Dorsey. Shoot, I mean, that's quite a few.
So is there do you have to run it for a certain time, or does it?
It's like one straightaway. This gas strip, we go down a straightaway,
okay.
and that's one run, one straightaway. So if you got troubles with your motor or whatever, something's wrong, you don't know what it is, you ain't got to go to the racetrack for a month or two. You can come over here and
I got you.
ignition or carburetors or whatever.
Okay.
I'm thinking Davenport's been over here.
Huh. That's pretty daggone cool, really. Now, could you dyno my power wagon for me?
You could. Matter of fact, the first thing we ever had on there was Dad's pickup truck. He had an old 905 Ford pickup truck with a 6-cylinder in it.
Yeah.
And he said every time he gets to about 25 or 2800, it's sputter, and he's always wanting to know if it was. So we put on the dyno, sure enough, it showed that sputter.
Did it really?
Or whatever.
I'll be daggone.
But we never did get it fixed, so we just do it.
Yes. Found it. Well, that is really cool, Will.
Yeah.
I mean, it is. So if people want to come over here, they just contact you if they want to dyno something?
Yeah.
Okay.
We don't just open it up to the public. We test headers on it. We test headers on it. But if people want to come, like I said, that's how people have been here before. We test headers with them, and then if they want to try their own carburetors, or like sprint car guys, they got all this. There's more technology to that fuel injection in the world, but they got this pill, that pill, and this and that, and this and that. They change stuff all the time.
Okay.
A lot of things. Like if you would just bring your power wagon over and dyno test to see what you had, that's not what we do with our
Right. I got you.
Yes.
I got you. So, just the general public racer can't do it either. Like I got you.
Because we're always, for the most part, we're trying to develop our new product.
This is for you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I got you.
Right. Yes.
So, what does it do? What does it do header wise? I mean, what do you get information you get from it for headers?
Well, you get torque and horsepower readings.
Okay.
And then you can, like we do a lot of stuff with like ET or estimated time, or from point A to point B, or from RPM to RPM, you get a certain speed.
Okay.
How fast, if we could pick up 2/10 of a second, that means you should be 2/10 of a second on a racetrack.
Oh, okay.
As far as acceleration wise. And that's torque, basically. So.
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. Like I say, we try all kinds of stuff. You see, I mean, we got headers piled up.
That is cool.
From the last test we did. But see, this is our story. But you can see all the headers all down through there, all stacked up there, all stacked up over here.
So are these ones
These are all stuff that we've dynoed on the dyno.
Okay, so when you get it dynoed, you're done with it? When you dyno it, you're done with it?
Like I said, we still got stuff modified, so we kept all these modified stuff, because if somebody comes back to the modified, now we can, if there's something we want to try, or we just don't throw them away, so we still reuse them and try them again.
So these are just for testing. I mean, that's it.
Yeah,
you got to test them. I got you. Okay.
Then back over here, we got another. Oh, it's kind of a mess, isn't it? Don't know where I want. There you can see all the.
Oh, yeah.
headers and extensions and elbows and different size mufflers. I mean, it's just like we was talking about before. The combination is just unbelievable. It's all a combination because there's just, I mean, we got 1 3/8 tubing, 1.5 inch, 1 5/8, 1 3/4, 1 7/8, 2 inch, 2 1/8, 2 1/4, 2 3/8, 2.5.
Golly.
Then you got 2 3/4, 3 inch, 3 1/4, 3.5, 4 inch, 4.5, 5 inch. So there's so many combinations of what you can do and whatever. It's just amazing.
So this is research and development.
Yep.
I got you.
Yep. Right on the door.
Oh, it sure is. I didn't even see that. I got to get it again. It sure is. Schoenfeld R. Yeah, there it is. Schoenfeld RD right there. That's pretty cool. Well, I appreciate you showing that, Tammy.
Yeah.
I've never seen one before. I didn't even know what they were, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I've heard of engine dynos, but I've never
So
heard
this
of.
way you can test all the header stuff, because on a chassis or like an engine dyno, you can't put any much exhaust. You just got only thing you can put on the script car in for the most part,
Yeah.
because the way they're set up. You know what I mean? So this way you can, like, especially like on an asphalt late model and stuff, because you got all the tailpipes and Y pipes and X pipes and all this other kind of stuff. So you got so much stuff you can try. You know, it's just,
How often are you testing stuff? Is there just whenever the need comes up?
somebody needs something, or when people want to come and dyno stuff and whatever. We don't have like a schedule per se, or
Just whenever the
when
need.
we roll a new header, we'll try something. You know, we got people cars. Like I got my modified, I can bring it over and do stuff, and just
Do you test a lot of stuff on your modified? I mean, do you use it a lot?
no, not really. We did first when I first had the crate motor stuff. Now I got to start now again because IMC's got a spec motor rule now. You can build your own motor.
About that, yeah.
So now I got to build one of those or get one for somebody like a dyno headers on that, because it's a whole different animal again, So that's the main thing. Like this, you can, if something comes up, like you say, you can try something different.
Okay.
Or, if there's another motor or another combination, or like I said, we got B mods and A mods and all this. So there's so many different classes. You got about just dyno about every class or every motor combination, because it ain't the same. You think it's the same, but it's not the same.
I gotcha.
I mean, people will tell you that. I mean, I built 3 motors that are the same, and none of them run the same, because they're just, and it don't make no sense. But they don't. I don't know why either. Like say, but
have you made a decision on what you're doing motor wise yet?
I still got my crate motor. That thing's been too good to me. I think it's 6 years old.
I gotcha.
Or you just change the oil and valve springs in it.
Yeah,
it's easy to. You don't tear them up because you don't turn them 9,000. You just turn them at 67.
Yeah. That's the only thing you can do on one of those, right? Is change the valve spring.
Yeah. Which I had this one rebuilt, but they just put rings and bearings. That's about all you can do to it. Valve job, rings and whatever. That's about all you can do with it.
How much is a freshener on one of those usually?
I think it's about $5,500.
A lot better than 15 or 20. Yeah.
Hell, I didn't pay $7,200 for it.
Okay.
But they're not like now. I think I don't even know how much they cost now. I think they're about 10 or.
Yeah, I think it's about 8 to 10 on the 602s and what 12 to a little bit higher on a 604.
Sure, I don't have to look for one. So I still got my first.
I may be wrong on that, but I mean, I've looked at a lot of them, so I don't know. I think it's up in there somewhere.
Yeah,
to get a new one.
I've talked to somebody about the spec motor deal, and I think they're about 10.5 or 11. So and I'm thinking they get a little more power than the 604 does. I don't know for sure. That's what I need to get one of them and try it and see how that runs.
I got you. Well, yes, man. Thanks for showing me in here.
Yeah.
I really appreciate it. Give you a knuckle bump there. Thank you, sir.
All right, man.
Thank you.
Thanks.